Thursday. It's difficult. It is. It's just a bunch of rules. It's the same rules over and over and over again. Okay, so this one, an exponent to an exponent, we multiply. So it's into the fifth. Now, 4, do I raise it to a power? It's in the parentheses, so yes, 4 to the third. Let me write that down. And then what about these two exponents? Multiply those. So it's m to the -2. Very good. If you don't know where she got that, just type in your calculator, -2/3 times 3. It's -2. All right, what goes in the front? What always goes in the front? The number, the coefficient. Which one of those is the number?
4.
Yeah, the 4 to the third. What is 4 to the third power?
64.
64. So I'm going to write 64. That took care of that right there. Now, n to the fifth, that's fine. Let's leave it. What about m to the -2? What do you do with the negative exponent?
Move it.
Move it. So it has to go to the bottom. When you move it, it becomes positive. Okay, another one with a fraction. I have one more. Especially since I just started recording. Okay, this one we have 3c to the 5/2 to the 4th and c squared to the 3rd. So let's start in here. This parentheses is what's raised to the 4th power. So I'm going to raise everything to the 4th power. 3 to the 4th power. Are y'all good with that one? Okay, now what do you do with an exponent? A power to a power? Multiply. Put it in your calculator. What if you need to? What is 5/2 times 4? Is that 10? That's what I got. I got 10. C to the 10th. Okay. What do you do with this? Let's move on to this parentheses. What is 2 times 3? 6. So when it's a power to a power, you multiply. Now, this is not a power to a power. What do I do with these two? Add them. Okay. What is 3 to the 4th power? I feel like I keep having that one. Is that not 81? It is 81. Okay. It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Put it in your calculator, y'all. Now, c to what power? Y'all just said we're going to add those. 10 plus 6 is 16. There you go. Okay. Let me see if I have one. All right, this one looks to be as difficult as it gets. So let me go through this one. I just pick a random problem. All right, in the book. It's got 2j squared, and then I'll do a word problem as well. K to the 4th to the -5th, k to the -1, j to the 7th to the 6th. There we go. All right, I'm going to raise each of these things to that power. This one, all of this is raised to what power? The -5. All of this is raised to what power? 6. So I'll just write 2, it doesn't have an exponent, 2 to the -5. Okay, everybody good with where I got that? What about the j? What is it going to be to? Yep, somebody say it? -10. Does anybody not understand where she got -10? 2 times -5. What about k? What's it going to be raised to? -20. Okay, we're done with that one. Now over here, I don't have a number out front, so it's going to be k to the, what's -1 times 6?
-6.
And then j to the 7 times 6 is 42. Okay. Now, let me combine, what goes together on this before I say it? What goes together?
The J and the K.
Yeah, the J's go together and the K's go together. So let's look at the J's. Let me just bring down my 2 to the -5th for now. What do I do with these two, -10 and 42? Since we're multiplying all this, you add them. What is -10 plus 42?
32.
Yep, so J to the 32. Now let's look at our K's. What's -20 plus -6? How about -26? Then what do we do?
2 to the 5th.
Well, we will do 2 to the 5th, but we have to, it's negative, so what do you have to do with it first? Move it, and then you're ready to figure it out. So I'm going to put 2 to the 5th in the bottom. What else goes in the bottom?
K to the 26.
Yep, K to the 26th. And what goes in the top?
J to the 30.
Yep, it just stays up there. If it didn't stay up there, what would we have put up there? A 1, right? But the J is going to stay. Now, she was saying, let's figure out 2 to the 5th. What is 2? I think I have it on the board over there. I do. 32, K to the 26 is in the bottom. Did I write that? Yeah. Okay. How was that one? Was that terrible?
Yes.
It is?
Pretty difficult.
It's following rules, the same rules over and over again. And you'll need to make sure, I'm going to give you a practice sheet. I do want to go through a word problem. Make sure you're understanding it, because guess what I do tomorrow? Add another rule. We have multiplied and we have added. What have we not done? We will not divide. We have not subtracted.
Is Quiz Friday?
Yeah, it is. So let's see. I think you're all set for today's paper except for the word problems.
Well, we have winter break next week.
Yes. That's why we're quizzing Friday. That's. Let me see this.
God.
Okay. I'm going to go through this problem. It's kind of difficult. And I might help you on your worksheet on your word problems as well, but we'll see if you can kind of get it. It says, all right, you have this formula. It gives the kinetic energy in joules of an object that has a certain mass and speed. So anyway, I wouldn't expect you to know this formula. That's why they give it to you. So we have the joules of an object's mass and then the speed. So this is talking about mass and speed. Okay, it's just a formula for science, all right, for kinetic energy. So it says, all right, for the mass, I want us to plug in, and guess what? It's scientific notation. Well, we can handle this. 1.3 times 10 to the third. And then for the speed, they want us to plug in 3.1 times 10 to the third. Okay? Is everybody good with this so far? All right, all we're going to do is write this down, and it's scientific notation. We've done some of these. So instead of writing mass, or M, I'm going to write this number right here in parentheses. And instead of writing V, I'm going to write all that. So watch. I'll just bring 1/2. And then I'm going to write 1.3 times 10 to the third. And then 3.1 times 10 to the third squared. Does everybody know why I squared that? Look in the formula. Isn't it V squared? So what did I write right here? All of that squared. Well, we just did these problems, okay? So I'm just going to write 1/2, 1.3 times 10 to the third. Now let me square these. What is 3.1 squared? I'm just going to go ahead and write that put that in my calculator. That is 9.61. And 10 to the, what do I do with those two exponents? Multiply them. 10 to the 6. Okay, now I'm ready to line all this out. What are the 3 numbers that I'm going to multiply together? Can anybody tell me? There's 3 numbers out front that I multiply together. Any guesses? There's 3 numbers out front. There's 2 numbers with exponents. The others are the numbers that I'm dealing with. 1/2, what's another one?
1.3.
And what's the other one?
9.61.
Yep, 1/2, 1.3, and 9.61. Look, I'll write all those down. You don't have to write this step if you don't want to. But there's all the numbers I'm going to multiply together. Bam. Okay, what goes back here? Times 10 to the, what do you do with these two? Yeah, since we're multiplying everything here, we're going to add, what's 3 plus 6? 3 plus 6. No. All right, I'm typing this in my calculator.
I'm still doing it.
1/2 times 1.3 times 9.61. And I get 6.2465 times 10 to the 9. That's my answer. Do we kind of get that? So we've done a little bit with scientific notation. You just plug these in for the variables, and now we're squaring both of those numbers. Okay, and that's the only thing that's different. Yours, I'm trying to see. I'll figure out. Oh, that one gives a radius. Okay. One of these is just a little confusing because it gives something different information. But I'll look at it before I give that to you, or before I make you do that one. Okay, pause it. Or no, I might pause it. All right, you want me to go over? I'm going to go over I hate that I'm doing the multiple choice one, but that one's the one that's actually more difficult. So, they give you, and it's the same thing on number 8, except number 8's actually easier. But here is your formula. All right, on number 8, it's similar. Instead of 4, though, you're going to just put 4/3. Okay, and you're going to put that in your calculator. Just like I'm going to put 4 times pi in a second in my calculator, you'll just do 4/3 times pi in your calculator. Okay, now R is my problem on number 7. Number 8 is great. You have no problem with R. They tell you what the radius is on number 8. Okay, the problem on number 7 is they don't tell me the radius. What do they tell me instead? The diameter. All right, so that's what makes this one just a tiny bit more difficult. So the diameter, to get from the diameter to the radius, I have to go halfway across, right? So I'm just going to divide this number by 2. That's all I'm going to do. Is everybody okay with that? So if I divide this by 2, what did I get? 1.0435. I think 1.43. Oh, sorry, 25. All right, this is my radius. So let's forget about the diameter now. And I have this number that's my radius. So what I'll do is 4 pi, and then I'm going to put this 1.04325 times 10 to the 4th squared. Is everybody okay? You're going to do the same thing on number 8, but yours is going to say 4/3 pi and whatever they give you squared. Are we good with that?
How did the diameter go down, or is it different than the radius?
Okay, it's different. So on number 7, they give me the diameter, but I need the radius. So I had to divide it by 2. Number 8, you do not do that. Number 8, they say, hey, here's your radius. We're not going to make it as difficult, okay? So number 8, they give you the exact number to use. Do not divide on number 8. Now, I'm going to square this and this. Is everybody okay with that? We just did these. I'm going to type this in my calculator and square it. So I've got 4, and I've got pi, and then I've got, what is that squared? 1.04325 squared. 1.04325. And it is, I'm just going to go to 1.088. I'm not writing all those numbers. Times 10 to the what? What do I do with the 4 and the 2? Yeah, times 10 to the 8. Now what I'm going to do is just multiply my 3 numbers, right? And leave my 10 to the 8th. So I'm going to do 4 times pi. So I'm going to do 4 times, and y'all, there's this pi button on the calculator. It's right here in blue. I'm just going to press second and that button. And look, there's pi. Is everybody okay with that? Times, and I want this number up here. What's great about these calculators, instead of typing all that in, I'm just going to go up to it and press enter. Okay, so I don't have to type it in. So I've got 4 times pi times that number right there. And what does it give me? 13 point, we'll just do 677. Okay, is everybody okay with that? So I'll write that down. 13.677. 0.677 times 10 to the 8th. Does anybody see that answer choice? Close. What's wrong with it? How many numbers can be in front of the decimal? Just one. So if I go to the left, 1.3677, then I need to add 1 to that. So that goes from 8 to what number? 9. Now do I see a number that looks like that? Yeah, they rounded a tad bit different. So I'm going to leave this up there and you try to do number 8. Okay, number 8 just starts right here. You don't have to divide anything. And instead of 4, what they use 4/3. They give you a different formula to use.
Did you record that?
I did just record that, yes.
So I did that. It's kind of messy.
Uh-huh.
Like, I got 120.
Let's see, -4 to the 3rd, k to the 15th, j to the 15th, k to the 24th, j to the 8th. That all looks great. So, well, your -4 to the 3rd, let's see, that is going to be -64, k to the 39, and then, oh, because what's 15 plus 8?
Oh, I was doing
23.
times.
Yeah, everything else is right.
Okay.
Just do the 15 plus 8. I think, let's see, stop record.